state in the country has to balance its budget by law, like Washington, D.C. Every state has a balanced budget requirement. Every state has to struggle to bring in tax revenues, and virtually every state's been a severe